Hello, this is Uncle Jim, and let's talk about feeding length for people that don't know. So, you're reloading your rounds, you have different kinds of bullets, and you plunk test, and everything's good. But sometimes, in some cases, with some guns, or some bullets, or loads, or overall length, you need to consider feeding length also. So, you plunk it, but then you might want to get that perfect feeding length. So I was watching Jesse's video, and his gun was dirty. I'm guilty as charged. If they're not my go-to guns, they can be neglected. But a few drops of oil usually changes that until you get to cleaning. A little bore snake and a drop of oil on the slide would really help. But anyway, feeding length. So you plunked and everything. And this is like a GI 1911 barrel. And in some cases, if your bullet's too short or too long, right here it can hang up and leave that inch of the barrel where the slide doesn't go forward. And so this is what I was trying to explain. If it happens when it's clean, then you know it's your feeding length. But it's all depends. They're all different. Okay, so let's talk feeding length. That's a factory round. And you can feel it right here. It's got kind of a glitch. And then here's a shorter round. And your bullet comes on the hood here, and then it will hit on your throat here. And if you have a sharp throat, you can have a mar on your brass, and your brass will tell you everything. Your brass tells you all kinds of stuff in a semi-auto. So if it's too short, it's not riding that bullet on the hood and helping it pivot straight in. If it's too long, it could also be the same thing, and you can feel a glitch as it goes in. So you look at your brass and you see if you got like a little skitch there or a dent. Like a dent would be bad. Then it's not so good. A little skitch is okay, as long as it's feeding good. So it's all right here. Your hood, nice and smooth going in, and your throat. And on 1911s, a lot of time, it's this sharp edge on the throat. Now, if you try and do a action job on your throat there, you got to be super careful, because you already got unsupported, but it could be even worse. So that's a very touchy-feely, got to know what you're doing type deal. Then you polish the top of the hood here, and that's usually the culprit right here when it's pivoting up. So what I was trying to tell them was, if you run into that issue and it's clean, then think about your feeding length, okay? So not only do you plunk, but then you got to consider your bullets and the length of them, because that's where the action is going in, okay? And then once they start getting dirty, it's going to show up even more. But you can feel a glitch when it's trying to feed, okay? So now your brass will tell you everything. If you're getting drag marks, also called a bobtail, on your firing pin, or your primer strike, your firing pin's not getting out of the way in time, so that's telling you something also. And that could be your recoil spring, or it can also be your firing pin spring isn't getting out of the way. And if you get a new recoil spring, it's always good to get a new firing spring pin spring with it, like a Wolf kit. And if you go extra power, you definitely want that extra power firing pin spring with it. So buy them as a kit. Wolf gun springs is good. And so you want to do that. So that also tells you something. And then extraction, ejecting marks, that tells you something that your gun's not quite, it's a little sick, it's not quite healthy. And this is, you know, some guns don't care about nothing. Other ones are a little more finicky that way. And they can be smoothed up a little bit, but you got to know what you're doing. Okay? So I've throated 1911s before, but it's more of a don't butcher it type deal. Got to know what you're doing, and it's so minimal. But I've seen people where they've just butchered, and they're not even safe. They'll feed everything, but they're not even safe anymore. So I hope that helps. So I guess that's it. As far as 1911s go, some of them run anything, anytime, anywhere. Doesn't matter how dirty. Other ones, not so much. So, but I hope this helps. And those are like two of the main things to look for. Skitch on the brass is okay. A little dent there, that's your throat, not so good. And so every bullet is different and different shaped, and it's all about how it goes in here and pivots in. And sometimes it'll hang up like that, okay? Just barely wanting to go in. A heavier recoil spring will force it in, but it'll be dinging your brass, so it's not solving everything. All right, I guess that's it. Back to the toad goat. Until next time.